Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are doing a little bit of an improv challenge. The challenge is, to be fair, I had a little time to think about it because I'm bringing it to London now. But the challenge is, me and London, or London and I guess would be grammatically correct, right? Are walking down the street with Mika, our daughter, and our son, Sonny, and a newlywed couple walking down the street the other direction. They're walking past us. They're in their tux, they're in their beautiful gown, all excited, and they see us and they say, "We just got married. We see that you guys are a happy couple walking down the street. Give me one thing, one advice above all other advice, that if you have nothing else to give me in 30 seconds, in 1 minute, 2 minutes, tell me the one thing that you think leads to a successful, happy marriage." And I know that I came up with this question, so I had more time, so I'll let London think on this as I answer. I think the first and foremost answer I'm going to give is give the authority of the household to God.
You win.
Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Okay, well then she's going to come up with another answer while I say that. And what I mean by that is, and I've said this in another video, so often people say, who wears the pants in the house? Who has the authority? And the man raises a hand. Sometimes it's the woman. And the reality is it's God. And I will say biblically, God puts the man as the man of the household able to have the overall authority. But he does that for a man of God. And so often men who really are boys take advantage of that. They say they're the authority, they make all the calls. That's not the point, and that's not what God said to do. Women and men are equal, and they make decisions together. But the problem is it can't always be 50-50. It can't always be a unanimous vote. There are some decisions there are difficult decisions that can't be made. Someone has to be the tiebreaker. And biblically, he says, the man of the household takes that responsibility. But with power comes responsibility, in the quote of Spider-Man, or I guess it's his uncle that says it. The point is you can't just use it all the time. Every time I'm in a fight with London and I think I'm right, I don't have the right to just say, hey, I am the man of the household, and this is how it goes. It's meant for times where you have fought, you have argued, you have tried to come to compromise, and you can't get there, and you take it to God, and you pray. As the man of the household, you pray to God and say, give me discernment. And then when he does give you discernment, you come to your wife and say, I love you, and I need you to know that I know that this is the right answer, and we need to go with this, and you need to trust me on this. And that is holding the authority in the correct manner. And sometimes you don't get the discernment. And if you don't get the discernment and you don't know in your heart this is the right answer, then you have to keep fighting with your wife and trying to figure out a compromise. You don't make that call and use that authority until God has told you, and you're really just speaking his words through you. And so my one advice is, as long as you put God as the authority, your marriage will always be successful. As long as you put God first and you always remind yourself that God is in charge of your household, not you, whether you're the man or whether you're the woman, I think you'll find this level of peace and understanding, and you'll make good decisions together, and you'll live happily together.
It's like the book we read when you were deployed, You and Me Forever, I think it was. And how, it's easy to go in these marriage books or read in them about, this is what the man does, this is what the woman does, as scripture says, which is very helpful and applicable. But at the end of the day, it's all about your relationship with Jesus, and as his character flows through you, it'll bring you together. Yeah. And so scripture in Galatians talks about, husbands, love your wife, and then wives, submit to your husbands. And I know that a lot of women struggle with that word submit. I kind of look at it as it's love, it's honoring, I can share my thoughts and opinions with you and know that you're respecting my thoughts. But at the end of the day, I can trust you to make that ultimate call. So it's a shared trust and honoring and respect for each other. But ultimately bringing it back to Christ is what's going to bring that peaceful marriage. The way that Christ puts love and peace and even humility, that's been just very impactful in our marriage at times that we have struggled.
Yeah.
So, in thinking about what I would say, I think the other point I would say is to notice each other. And from that loving and accepting and appreciating even the little things, but essentially, yeah, noticing each other as a whole and
Yeah.
who you are. And so noticing like the little tasks around the house or day to day of what the other person does. And I know you touched on this in a different video of, gratitude, thanking. And I know some people are like, duh, that's so easy, of course. But trust me, a lot of people go without saying it. A lot of people just, they might think it and never speak it. And so speaking life into each other, and thanking each other, but also like noticing just like the little things of what makes you Alex and me loving that about you.
Yeah.
And you doing the same with me. And instead of getting irritated by the differences, it's just finding whether it's humor or finding love for the difference and appreciating it. And it's just what makes marriage fun and full.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mentioned that in another video, and I got some comments of people saying, well, isn't that just basic manners? Like, didn't you learn that as kids? And I wonder if these people have not been married or they don't understand what it's like to be married and have kids where, of course, it's basic manners. But when you live for someone for so long, it starts to be an expectation and you start to forget to say thank you for certain things. It might always be easy to say thank you for making dinner in London, but there might be other things you do that I would just start to forget, like, hey, thanks for watching the kids. Hey, thanks for grabbing something for me. Hey, thanks for just everything, just noticing what they do and actually appreciating it. And it's also not as simple as saying thank you. It's genuinely appreciating it. It's not just saying thank you for making dinner. It's thank you for making dinner. Did you make this pasta from scratch? This is really good, And I really like that you just stick to whole foods. Like I actually have noticed that I feel healthier recently since I've been back home and eating healthy off of what you're feeding me. That's a genuine thank you. That's a genuine noticing. And London does this with me all the time. She thanks me for things where I feel like you're not just thanking the action, you're thanking the person behind the action, and you're noticing me. And I think most people who are in long-term marriages or were in long-term marriages that failed, both of those people have a lot of great wisdom, and they each would probably say, yeah, noticing is when I've gone through hard struggles in my marriage or when my marriage failed, I think there was a heavy level of like, I wasn't being noticed or I wasn't noticing them. I think noticing is so huge in any relationship. And I think that falls into your kids too. You should be noticing everything they do. So
100%. Words are so powerful and can make such a difference in both positive and negative ways. But like there have been times that, you've either been down on yourself or something and I've said something like, wow, thank you so much I'm just so grateful that you go out of your way to provide for this family, that you work so hard. I thank you for the dad that you are and how intentional you are with our kids. And like you said, in parenting, it's pouring into our kids. I'm so grateful I have a child that is so kind. And it's like, that feeds more action. So like even you doing laundry and it's all put away, I could just go on and think, oh, he did that, but I made dinner, so it's evened out, But in reality, it's like, no, thank you for doing laundry. Appreciate that. And then you're like, oh, she sees me, and I'm going to keep doing that because I want to pour more love into her. And there's obviously different ways of showing love, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the challenge we'll leave you with this video is if you're married, whether you're married just recently or a couple of years like us or for 10, 15, 20 years, act like you're a newlywed walking down, and the next couple you see, act like you're just so excited, you just got married, that you gotta ask them, how do I be successful? And so go about your day, and when you see someone who is married, or more importantly, was married, because I think people who have experience in marriage, whether they're married still or they got divorced, they both have such phenomenal wisdom, and it's important to ask them ask them what's your advice? And I think that the two things we said most likely came from our parents, whether it was your mom or your dad that told you to notice your spouse, or telling me to put God as the household authority, or it was my parents who my mom or dad told me, hey, you need to make sure you notice London. I'm sure these two advice that we just gave were probably advice given to us from our parents. So go out there, find someone and ask them for some advice and see what they say.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.